Back class 12 in yet our new virtual online class. Today I will be discussing regarding the convention. In last class, in last video, I have already discussed about what is conventions. Definition, meanings are clear with you all. Now let's proceed further with the topic, that is major conventions of British Constitution. Major conventions of British Constitution. So I have already discussed the meaning. So in your book, like in your page number from 101, my old book starts from page number 101. Out from here, there are 3 topics, okay, right? Major convention of British Constitution. Under that larger domain, we have to discuss about convention relating to British monarchy, convention relating to British cabinet system, and convention relating to British Parliament, and convention relating to the Commonwealth of Nations. So there are like 4 things we need to discuss about, okay? So let's move on. Major conventions of British Constitution. The scope and a role of convention in British Constitution is indeed very important and deterministic. Okay, so it is very important and deterministic. So deterministic means whatever the things that are discussed, whatever the things that are debated, it is determining the factor that whether that particular debatable topic is good or nuisance for their community or for their constitution. So convention acts as a major important features of British Constitution, and without which it cannot, like the British Constitution cannot be defined. No, now this regulates the working of all British political institutions and offices. So who regulates? The conventions regulated the working mechanism of British political institution and the offices, and we know that British Constitution do follow unwritten form of constitution. So some of the important conventions to be conventions of the British Constitution can be described as follows. So what are described as follows? Number 1, so in your book, like in your page number 102, there are multiple things, okay, multiple things, like point number, there are 6 points altogether, but I will be discussing just 5 points or 2 or 3 points, okay. So conventions relating to British monarchy. The monarchy means king. The king always acts upon the advice of the cabinet. The monarchy does not attend the meetings of the cabinet. The monarchy never exercises his or her veto over the bills passed by the Parliament. So, cabinet means Prime Minister and this one, cabinet, okay, Prime Minister and his council of. So Prime Minister and the cabinet. So king is there, like Queen Elizabeth is there. So the Prime Minister, current Prime Minister of Britain is Boris Johnson. So he, according to his cabinet, talks about the situation or things, then only the monarch, like according to the advice given by the Prime Minister, the king acts accordingly, monarch or queen acts accordingly. The monarch does not need to attend the meetings of the cabinet, means the king do not attend the meeting of cabinet. Now I think you are clear with the cabinet, okay. So the monarch never exercises his veto power over the passed bills. So the monarch never exercises his veto power over the bills passed by the Parliament. So what is veto? Veto means the power of a king to refuse to approve bill or joint resolution, and thus prevent the enactment of that law, okay. So it is just like to curtail, if if you don't think like, if you are a king, then if you don't think that particular law is good for the constitution, good for the people, then you have ultimate the veto to make it null and void. Okay, to make, if even if the majority have passed, if the majority have given the mandate that okay, now this bill is going to pass in our country, but the king says that no, I will not, like, I'm against this bill, then he or she can use the veto. So similarly, the king uses as veto power. So simultaneously, there are again 3 points. You can open your book and just write it or just read it about that power. Okay, so moving forward, convention relating to the British cabinet system. British cabinet system. British cabinet system is a group of most senior ministers of the crown in the government. Okay, who are this British cabinet system? Who do follow British cabinet system? Like, they are the group of most senior ministers of the crown, senior minister of the crown. So who give advices to the prime minister. So the conventions relating to the British system, there are like 17 points are there altogether, but I have just point out 4 points. Okay, just let's proceed. The leadership of the majority House of Commons gets appointed as the prime minister to the Britain. So the like, whichever the house has a majority, that from that particular group, one prime minister is selected. Prime minister presides over the meeting of the cabinet. Prime minister always belongs to the House of Commons. So it is not that prime minister does not come from House of Lords, but it does comes from House of Commons. Kindly be clear, there are two houses, that is House of Lords and House of Commons. So from House of Commons only every time prime minister is selected. As a minister must all the minister must be the member of British Parliament. All the ministers, whoever, what kind of the ministers, like finance minister, education minister, so many ministers are there. So every ministers who hold certain portfolios should be the member of a British Parliament. So if a person is not a member of British Parliament, then he or she will not have a like membership. Okay, so conventions relating to British Parliament. Now let's move to conventions relating to British Parliament. Bicameral organization of British Parliament rests upon the convention. Bicameral means two. Okay, so organize a British House of Lords and House of Commons. It's totally based upon conventions. In each house, the British Parliament in each house of the parliament, a bill is read thrice before it is passed. So I have already discussed in last video. The member of House of Commons who gets elected as its speaker always resigns over the party of membership. Again, not just prime minister, again the speaker of the house, speaker of the common House of Commons gets elected as a speaker and presides over the parties and membership. So, and we have heard about the prime minister. Now we will let's know who is the speaker, who is considered as the speaker. A speaker is like a spokesperson or a person who chairs the meeting. So the speaker is elected from among 151 members of the house. 151 members of the house. Okay, so speaker is that particular person who gets elected from House of the Commons, because House of Commons has the majority of the majority of power. So from there the speaker is elected, and And a speaker is a spokesperson or a or a person who chairs the meeting and modulates the meeting, whatever the things that happens. Okay, and he keeps time frame about who must speak how much minute of time, and what are the debates, and what are the things. If house does fall into a chaotic situation, speaker is the one who modulates everything and disciplinizes the meeting. So always resigns in the membership. The speaker always resigns his party membership. The speaker maintains strict political neutrality, means he or she should be politically neutral. He should not say that the judgment regarding any given judgment should not be any biasness. It should be politically neutral, that he should be neutral and give judgments by hearing both the cases whenever that is debated on the British Parliament. Now let's talk about convention relating to the Commonwealth of Nations. Commonwealth of Nation. Commonwealth wealth of nation, like it is a free association of sovereign states comprising the United Kingdom and the number of its former dependencies. So you can just understand this Commonwealth of Nation is a group of is a free association of sovereign states, okay, comprising the United Kingdom and the number of dependencies. So this is also a convention. Okay, so British king queen is the ex officio head of the Commonwealth of Nation. Who is the ex officio head? British king or queen. Okay, the laws of British Parliament do not apply to the dominion. The laws of the British Parliament do not apply to the dominion. So what do you mean by dominion? Dominion means a sovereignty or a control. So sovereignty or a control to establish complete dominion over the things. Okay, they do not have any complete dominion. While undertaking function relating to the dominion, the monarch depends upon the advice of cabinet of the concerned dominion, and not only advise the and not on the advice of the British cabinet. So it is with like monarch gives certain advice to the cabinet of that concerned dominion, means or a sovereignty or a control of certain places, but it does not act on the advice of British Parliament. So now I have completed the topic regarding the major conventions of the British Constitution, wherein you need to discuss four important conventions relating to British Parliament, British monarchy, British cabinet system, British Parliament, and Commonwealth of Nations. So you need to write like 5 points of each, or two like 6 points. It's up to you. I have explained major important conventions and explanations, so please make your notes and like complete your notes on time too, so that your work will not pile up, because like we need to complete our syllabus, plus we need to focus upon making explanation, like writing your answers in a point wise manner. Till then, stay safe and take care, and please submit your notes on time.